and welcome. My name is Carl Johann Schroeder, and I'm here today to share with you some tips on emotions, how to make your emotions work for you. In this, the first of my new series of short videos in which I teach you foundations of life mastery, and therefore I call it Master Tips. So, I am not saying I'm the greatest master. I'm saying that we're all here to learn from each other and to learn how to become masters. Now, I've spent my life with my passion to understand how life works and the human potential. I have studied from teachers in the world. I have studied even more from teachers from the spirit world. I've had many spiritual, mystical experiences, and my passion is to translate that into practical terms that I can share with others. And I know it works because it has transformed my life. So today's topic, how to make your emotions work for you. So let's talk about emotions. What are emotions? Where do they come from and how to work with them? Well, if you were like me and like most people, we simply weren't taught what emotions are and how to work with them. Instead, the focus has been on the material world. Very materialistic society and culture we live in, and in some ways that has been okay. We have developed a mastery of the physics of the physical substances, but it's time to become energy beings. That's what a lot of the talk is these days, about moving into realms of working directly with energy. And emotions are energy. They are your personal energy. You've got to learn to work with your emotions. When I was growing up, I was taught that some emotions were good and some emotions were bad. And if you're a good person, you shouldn't get angry. And if you're a bad person, you do lots of bad things. And there's just no choice. Like, if you're angry, you have to do something destructive. So I was raised with a loathing of anger. And then also our society is very sexist when it comes to emotions. We're taught that some emotions are for women and some emotions are for men. Nobody is allowed to have a full range of the emotional experience, which is really traumatizing. So what happens is that people learn to warehouse their emotions. You suppress some and you vent others. And sooner or later, it makes you sick. If you don't work with your emotions, you will become sick. And a lot of the physical illnesses in the world are from emotional suppression, repression, not learning how to work with emotions. So let's talk about emotions. What are they? So I like to think of them as energy, and energy is patterns that are situational. So the energy can either go into the situation or come from the situation. So for example, like anger. Anger is the energy, the pattern of something is in the way, something's wrong, something's got to be fixed. So it could come from a situation where there's something that's in your way, blocking you and your goals in life, and you need to change it. So the energy of anger is coming to you to help you change the situation. On the other hand, if you have some emotions, you can put them into a situation. Somebody can be angry and come into a situation and turn it into a mess full of blockages, right? Just create all kinds of problems that didn't have to be there. But you can have compassion for them because they were a person who didn't know how to work with their anger. So they come in and they throw their anger into things. Well, we're here to learn about how to work with energy and how to work with emotions. So it's not a judgment on you. If you have some emotions and you don't know what to do with them, and they will compel you. If you don't know how to work with your emotions will work with you. You will have to become reactive instead of responding. We want to become responsive in life. As spiritual beings, see, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. That was Teilhard de Chardin's great quote. So we're here to learn how to work with our energy, to work with emotions, and to be able to respond to life, to do what we want, to care, to make life better, to take care of our loved ones, to take care of ourselves, to make the world a better place. And clearly, there's a lot to do in the world today to make it a better place. For centuries, for millennia, people have been running on emotional energies that compel them, they don't understand, and they just create messes. Like I said, we have a lot of mastery of the physical world now, with all these technologies and machines and chemistry and physics, but then because people are emotionally sort of congested, they don't know what they're doing, at key moments, they turn off to a situation that they should have cared about. They don't get the hints from the universe. They don't understand what they're doing, and they create more problems than there were when they started. And yet they had a good intention. So we've got to get back to being beautiful divine beings who have good intentions, and we learn to work with our emotions. So emotions, energy. You know, if you don't have the right energy for a situation, you can't do anything. I mean, if you're depressed, you can't do stuff. A lot of what I was raised with was ignore your emotions, just push yourself, force yourself to do what you need to do. Well, that's going to lead to burnout, resentment, sickness, physical, emotional, mental sickness. You just can't force things in life. You need to learn to work with the universe, and what you find out is the universe is actually your friend. There are ways in which the universe will work with you in an incredible flow that feels good and is incredibly effective. And a key to this is working with your emotions. So, big surprise is that emotions can convert. You have a mastery. You can change any emotion into any other emotion. If you need anger for a situation to change what's blocking you, to fix something that's broken, and clearly there are a lot of things broken in the world today, a lot of injustices, a lot of anger is appropriate. It has to be used with responsive responsibility. It needs to be channeled in the right way to make a good difference, okay? But every emotion can be positive or negative, depending on how you use it. Forget this old school idea of certain ones were good and certain ones were bad. Now, it's true, there are two major categories of emotions. And this is where people in society have traditionally said, these are the good ones and these are the bad ones. But what's good or bad is how you use an emotion. So the two categories are the expansive emotions, the ones that they feel good, they're happy, they're saying you're having a good time, life is going your way, okay? So happiness, joy, love, trust, courage, excitement, all these great, wonderful emotions. Basically, emotions that are saying, you got the green light, go. Then there are these emotions that they're contractive, or I like to think of them as just corrective, the corrective emotions that people have traditionally called bad or negative, but they're not. It depends on how you use them. So those would be emotions like fear, hurt, anger, depression, anxiety, jealousy, rage, all kinds of stuff that people tend to, if they're in a reactive mode, apply them in a negative way. But if you respond wisely, if you know how to work with emotions, you convert them into what you need to change in your life, and then they rapidly turn into those expansive emotions with the big green light that says go. See, the contractive or corrective emotions, they're basically a red light saying stop, change something. And so let's draw what it means to be a human being, okay? We've got to get a basic model going here. So let's draw it. Here's the Earth. Nice brown color. Can you see that? Okay, well, there's the Earth. And here is you standing on the Earth. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's your human being on the Earth. Let's give it some green color too. Okay, so there you are on the Earth. And you want to have a good life. And you have physical things to work with, you have emotions to work with, you have thoughts and ideas to work with, and you have inspirations and values to work with. And above all, at the top, we have this concept of the divine, the source. And so let's just make a big S, like for super source. So you call it what you want. This is God, this is Goddess, this is Great Spirit. This is just the flow, if you're just into psychology, super flow. This is a big hug from the universe. This is the universe, your friend. This is a source of solutions. This is a source of inspiration. This is what makes people feel good. Everyone, whether they know it or not, is seeking a connection with the source. They just might turn off to certain words because of a history of having been hurt by a culture, by the church, whatever, and then not knowing how to work with their emotions. So let's clarify now. We've got the source, and it's trying to radiate down all this energy of solutions. Okay? Another use for the word S, solutions. Okay, that's what love is. Love is helping people, giving them solutions, promoting life. And that's what the source of creation does. Great creator, great spirit. So there's an energy of solutions, a pattern of solutions that's radiating down upon you, the human being. Now, we are here to be creators. We're here to learn how life works and participate in how life works. So we're not just passively the children of the universe, the children of God, just sit back and be good and obey and everything will be done for you. Okay, maybe thousands, millions of years ago it was that way when we were more like animals. But no dissing animals. Animals are fantastic. Animals have thoughts, feelings, but they run on instincts. Human beings run on free will. You have choices you need to make, pivotal choices. Free will doesn't mean you can do everything at every time, but it does mean you have a pivotal sovereign choice which the universe will respect. You make the right choice and things will go your way and you'll get those expansive emotions. You make the wrong choice and things will be in your way. There'll be blockages, there'll be problems, and you'll get those corrective emotions of like, something's got to change here. So let's clarify here. 4 levels, okay? There are 4 levels to the human experience. And the first, of course, is this, let's draw it in red here, the physical level. Okay? That's what we're all used to. That's these bodies, this physics, this chemistry, this structure. That's what everybody's obsessed with controlling, right? In this materialistic culture. But the next level is the level of, what color do I want for it? Maybe green, okay. The emotional level. The emotions. And let's be clear, I mean, the emotions, each one of these is a body. Each one of these is a world into themselves. You know that you have a physical body, but did you know you have an emotional body? Yes, in fact, it's a real place. It's where you go when you dream. Dreams at night, also known as the astral plane, are happening at the emotional level, in an emotional world, in the emotional body. And these bodies, they encapsulate each other. The physical body, it's like the Russian dolls. The physical body is the most central. The emotional body is around it and throughout it. And the next level. So the emotional, that's our feelings, especially in relationships. And the universe is very much relationship-based. The next level is the mental level. And that, again, people are very familiar with having thoughts and ideas from the mental level, but they don't necessarily realize this is an entire world into itself. It is a world of ideals, of sacred geometry, of the patterns that really govern the universe. And it's the mental level where we as creators, we design our belief systems, we design our worldview, we decide what is possible and what is not possible. And then at the top level, still within the human realm, at the top level, we have our spiritual body. And the spiritual body is the place where we experience our values, our inspirations, what we love, our passions, our motivations. So you get a sense here that there are these 4 levels of what it means to be human, and it's your job to keep them in alignment, to keep them working together. So if you have a value at the spiritual level of I really value relationships, but then you have ideas at the mental level that, well, nobody likes me, nobody loves me. And then you're going to have emotions of, well, alienation, isolation, frustration, despair. You're going to very quickly find yourself at the physical level in deep depression. You can't do anything because the energy just isn't there. And then your physical body has demands of like, well, we need to be fed, we need to be clothed, do stuff, do something. And then the society tells you, well, it's all materialistic, just force yourself, take a pill, do something to get yourself working again. Forget it. I mean, you do have to work with life as it is, make the best of things, but work with these levels. You've got spiritual energy coming in, you align these levels so the energy comes through down here to your human being, to human life. You play your game right, and you will have tremendous value, inspiration, motivation. You'll have tremendous ideas of what's possible, new paradigms coming to you. At the emotional level, you'll have incredible love, trust, enthusiasm, excitement. And at the physical level, things will just work out for you. You'll have the physical energy. You'll have the connections, the opportunities. That's how life is meant to work. Emotions are basically your alignment. It's the experience of whether the energy is pouring in. Let's do some waves of energy here. So it's pouring in. If your parts of yourself work together well, the energy will pour in and your life will work. If it doesn't, it's kind of like having, I like to think of it as tube or several tubes in a stream of water. And you know, if they're aligned, the water pours through just fine. But if you turn them to the side, very quickly that flow is like turbulent and pushing you, and you're fighting the current. That's the feeling of your emotions not working out. So you got some idea of what emotions are, where they come from. They're helping you. They're guiding you, what you need to work on. So here's the basic concept here. Remember we said there aren't good or bad emotions. There are expansive emotions or contractive, corrective emotions. But everything is going to be negative, meaning hurtful, or positive, meaning helpful and loving, depending on how you use it. So here's the difference. When you have an expansive, positive emotion, like you're excited, you're in love, things are feeling good, then go down into the physical. It's a big green light. It's saying go. Go work with as much as you can. If you hold back, if you repress yourself, that love will turn negative. Yes, love can be negative, absolutely. Somebody who sits at home and doesn't express their love and doesn't take action just becomes resentful, becomes bitter, becomes alienated. That's negative love, or stalker love. I mean, all kinds of obsessive, alienated love. Love can be very negative and destructive. On the other hand, suppose you have an emotion, one of these corrective kind of emotions. Say you have anger or hurt. Anger and hurt, very closely related, right? Hurt is the pattern of something is broken. And anger is the pattern of something needs to be fixed. Kind of goes together there. Our sexist society tends to say, well, men can be angry and women can be hurt. You can't put them together. Well, you have to put them together. You need to feel both. But say you have some anger and hurt. It's a feeling of something's wrong. Something you want to correct something. Don't go down into the physical. This is what our society teaches so incorrectly. It teaches you, well, suppress your emotions, do the right thing until finally you just burst out and then you act out, you take it out on other people. Anger is not saying that you need to beat up somebody here. You need to not bust heads. You need to bust beliefs. You need to bust your blockages. If you have a corrective emotion, take it back up. Look at your beliefs. Look at your feelings. Look at your values. Change some of that. Don't try to mess with the physical because you're not in the right space to do so. So that's the basic concept. Any emotion can go down or up. And if it's an expansive emotion, go down with it. Yes, manifest more. If it's a corrective emotion, go back up. Get reflective, introspective, change some of your values, the way you see the world, what you think is possible. And ask for help. The universe will help you. This is the way it works. It's not meant to be rocket science, okay? Life is meant to make a lot of sense. There's countless billions of life forms in the universe. Did you think that life was supposed to be so complex that they couldn't all do it? No, I mean, the problem is human society has made a lot of assumptions that are simply incorrect. Nobody can function the way that society is set up with the domination culture and basic misunderstandings of how to work with emotions. So let me round out this little video here with basic tool, the most basic way to work with emotions. Guess what it is? Feel them, but in a safe space. Don't react immediately. Give yourself a safe space in which to feel your emotions. This is why it's so valuable to do journaling or to talk with a trusted friend, a therapist. But I would suggest even more, work with yourself. Be able to face your emotions and feel them. So here's the basic container, the basic safe container I recommend, and I've used this so many times in so many ways for both expansive and corrective, contractive emotions. 20 minutes. Ideal amount of time. Set a timer for 20 minutes and do what I call an emotion meditation. There are different kinds of meditation, right? There's the kind where you just center yourself and let things go and just find inner peace. Totally valuable. But in emotion meditation, you give yourself a safe stage in which to dramatically feel that emotion and try to focus just on that one emotion, okay? Say you're a person who's always been struggling with fear or anxiety or anger or whatever. 20-minute timer, get to a safe space and feel it, really feel it. And you're going to feel it in your body. Your body is going to help you convert it and release it. So you may shake, you may cry, you may have physical sensations that can freak you out, but you're probably going to be okay. Don't worry. Okay, the really danger is to suppress your emotions, to never process them. That's when people get long-term sick. Short-term, your body is going to be happy that you're feeling your emotions. It's going to support you. So give yourself that 20-minute safe space, and then at the end of 20 minutes, change your mood. Go do something fun. Have some ice cream. Take a walk. Hug a pet. Go in nature. Hug a tree. Like sing and dance. Do something fun, something you would prefer. So what you're doing there is you're saying, I am more than my emotions. I can feel this emotion like a dramatic actor on a stage, and then I can be done with it, and the audience applauds, and then I go do what I want. I can turn my emotions. If you will do this, you will find that you have an incredible ability to convert your emotions. Energies will come to you. Your old emotions will fade away. New energies will come to you. You'll start feeling like a master of your life. And you are. You are a master in the making. Now, if you don't feel quite ready to do an emotion meditation, you can do steps to get ready to really feel it. It's like, I don't know, I feel really emotionally congested, but I don't know what it is. So I would recommend what I call a focus meditation, where you're trying to focus and you're just going to talk about the situation. You're going to be more at this mental level, but you're going to talk about your life. Like, I don't know what I'm feeling, and it's like, here's what's going on. Again, 20 minutes, okay? And if that doesn't get your emotions moving and ready to do an emotion meditation, then I would say, do a self-therapy session where you now listen back to, so you audio recordings. I highly recommend audio recordings. Listen back to yourself or read your journal if you just wrote it, and now play the therapist and really see that person objectively and have compassion. And your compassion for yourself will create the safe space so then the next time you try feeling the feeling, you'll feel like, somebody was listening to me, somebody cares, I can feel more of this. But you work with your emotions this way, you'll be amazed what will happen. Well, just the other day, I had a lot of fear coming up. Why? I mean, what? Just because, here's another, bias of the culture. It says, well, if you're such an advanced person, you wouldn't have, blah, 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 blah emotions. Not true. Emotions are situational. It doesn't matter how evolved you are. At any time, you could run into any kind of emotion. So I was having some fear about something that I needed to deal with. And I really felt it. Now, fear rips you apart. You're separated from yourself, and it's kind of traumatizing. But I did it. 20 minutes, I felt that fear. It was intense. It felt bad. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get through this. But at the end of 20 minutes, I went and did something fun. And soon I noticed this new energy was coming up. The fear had converted. And the next thing I knew, I had this kind of roar, like Incredible Hulk, like, I will do this. I will take care of my life. I will have it work. Nothing will stand in my way. The fear was gone. I was filled with raw power, and I fixed what I needed to fix. Emotions, you can convert them, you can master them, you can make them work for you. That's it. Thank you.